Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Jackie. And let's get started. DIY number one, I'm taking 2 feet from those Dollar Tree Christmas trees. You know, the ones we always put together and we always have all these extra feet. Well, I'm just removing the little tabs that's on the bottom. And I'm going to hot glue these 2 feet together in a pyramid shape like this. Looking like a tree to me. And now I'm going to go in with some of this baker's twine, the red and white. I love this baker's twine, got it from the Dollar Tree. And I'm simply going to wrap it around this tree formation, adding hot glue every now and then to keep all the strands secure. And just keep going around, taking my time, making sure that they don't slip off because it is kind of a slope. And I'll continue this until I get it all the way to the top like this. Now I'm taking a little star that I painted red and just placing it on the very top. And look at that. It's looking like a little candy cane tree. What goes with candy canes? Gingerbread. So I'll add these two little gingerbread people on there just to give it a little bit of embellishment. And just look how adorable. Oh my goodness. We have to give the little girl a bow for sure for her little head. So I'm just making a quick little bow with the baker's twine and adhering it to the top of her head and making her look super cute like this. Now all it needs now is a little hanger to hang on the tree. So I'm just taking some more of the baker's twine and creating a loop, tying a knot at the end and adhering this piece to the very back with some hot glue. And we'll consider this DIY complete. Super cute, super easy, and you know we have a bunch of these little Christmas tree feet everywhere. This is a very budget friendly, family friendly, the kids can do it, super easy. Any kind of theme, you could do elf theme, gnome theme, whatever theme you'd like. You can personalize these. Look how adorable. Oh my goodness, so cute. And here's how it looks. For DIY number 2, I'm taking one of these ornament shaped wood pieces. This one came from Family Dollar, but Dollar Tree does carry them as well. They are a little bit rough around the edges, so I went in with my finger sander to get all the little splinters off. And now I'm going to go in with this wrapping paper. This came from the Dollar Tree, and what attracted me was the gingerbread. Super cute. So I'm going to try this technique that I saw on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's super easy and it works. I couldn't believe it worked. This was my first time trying it. So all you do is take a piece of saran wrap, just any old saran wrap, and you place it on your wood piece like so. And then you take your wrapping paper or scrapbooking paper or whatever kind of paper you like. Here I'm kind of fighting with it because I have the fan on. But you just place it on top and then take a piece of parchment paper and lay that on top. Get everything nice and smooth, and then take an iron. I'm using my mini easy press and I'm just going to iron this on there. It's like literally fusing it to the wood. Yes, I couldn't believe it. I thought I have to try this. I mean, what I got to lose? Piece of wood. So I just kept pressing it until it adhered, and look, it is totally adhered to this piece of wood. And now I'm just going to take my finger sander and sand off all the paper. This was a little difficult just because the plastic was still on there and the sandpaper wasn't cutting through the plastic. But as long as I got the paper sheared off, then I just went in with my scissors and removed the actual plastic, which was really easy to remove. So you can see here the plastic's underneath. It does remove the paper, of course, because that's simple to remove with a sanding block or a finger sander. But look, it looks so cute. Oh my goodness. And I didn't paint it ahead of time because I wasn't sure if the paint was going to interfere with the fusing of the plastic. So I'm going to go in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson, and I'm going to just very easily and very carefully paint the edges of the ornament. It didn't take much. It wasn't hard. So now I'm looking at the back and I'm thinking, oh, the back's got potential. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go in with the same technique. Add a piece of saran wrap or plastic wrap. Smooth it out as best I can. The back on this one had a little bit of stickiness because of the label that was on there. But I just smoothed it up. Add another piece of wrapping paper. I figured I would do both sides just in case the ornament got flipped around or turned around. That way it's a complete look. I'll place my parchment paper on top and use my little mini easy press until it's all fused on the wood. Look at that. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Oh, the possibilities. And it's a pretty smooth edge too. It's pretty smooth. Look at that. Everything looks so beautiful. And I do go in with some matte Mod Podge to seal up both sides like this. Looking cute. So now it's time to do a little bit of embellishing. So I'm going to go in with some of the baker's twine, the red and white baker's twine that I just love to use this year. And I'm just going to very gently with my detail tip Sherbonder glue gun, I'm going to go around the edge very gently, very slowly, taking my time and getting the edge all pretty with this baker's twine. And I'll just go around the whole thing, taking my time until it looks like this. Just look how cute. So now I decided to make a bow for the very top of the ornament, and I actually do this to both sides, and I add my hanger on the back, and we'll call this DIY complete. Super cute, super easy. The technique was easy. We all have plastic wrap, we all have wrapping paper, we all have tissue paper, we all have scrapbooking paper, and look at this. And of course, some baker's twine. Here's my little loop for my hanger, and yes, that is it. And also the little bow on the back as well. But look how adorable. Oh my goodness, I was so excited to try this. It's just super cute. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3 and my last DIY of this video, I'm taking one of these really cute ornaments that I picked up from Walmart, and it's cute as it is, but I wanted to give it a gingerbread look. Because why not? And I'm going to remove the hanger and the little antenna pieces of this little retro television. And I'm going to make this very simple. I'm just going to go in with some of the apple barrel paint in the color Nutmeg Brown. And with a tiny little brush, I'm going to go around the edges and get all the blue into brown like this. It took a few coats. I want to say it took about 3 good coats. And I did replace the purple beads with some red beads, and I'm putting the little antennas back in place and the little holes. And now I'm just going to add a few little other embellishments. I still had a few of these little gingerbread people lying around, so hey, why not use them? So I'll add them to the front, like they're in front of the television. You know how kids do. They get right in front of the television. So these are little gingerbread kids, ready for Christmas. And now all I have to do is add a little bow on the very top of my television. And I also do a little bow for the little girl, but I use baker's twine to make her little bow, just so it won't be so overpowering. So here's my little baker's twine bow, and I just adhere it to her head like this. And then after this, all I have to do now is add my little hanger, which I just place on the very back, and we'll call this DIY complete. DIY number 1, I'm going to take this variety of beads. These brown ones are from the Dollar Tree in the hair section, and then the rest are from Amazon, and I'll link them in my description. Here I'm taking some baker's twine, the red and white from the Dollar Tree, and I'm threading it through one of these large needles. And I'm keeping my baker's twine doubled, so for extra security and strength. And so I'll just thread these wooden beads through this large needle in this pattern, and then I double them up until they look like this. So there's 16 beads in total. And now I'm going to snip off the excess twine on the end, and I'll tie the two ends together and make sure it's nice and tight, and I do a good double knot. Make sure that nothing's going to fall apart on me. Remove the needle. And now I'm going to take one of these wood rounds that I got from Amazon, and I'll link those as well. And I'll just put the extra twine in through the hole, the little hanger part, and add a little dab of glue on the back to secure everything in place. And I'll flip it back over. And now I'm going to secure all the beads onto this little wood piece in this round shape. So I'll just take my little bit of glue, add a little dab here, a little dab there, wherever I feel like it's going to need it to keep it all adhered. And now I'm going to go in with one of these mini gingerbread men from Amazon. It's made out of silicone, and it's just tiny little gingerbread men. Now I'm going to go in with the E6000 because since this is made out of silicone, hot glue won't work on it. Hence our silicone spatulas that we use to keep the hot glue from touching us. So now I'm going to take a little bow that I just created real quick with some Dollar Tree ribbon, and look, super cute. Here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. And a pack of these shower curtain plastic rings, and I'm just going to use 2, and I'm going to hook them up together and hot glue them in place so they don't pop open on me. Once that's done, I'm going to take some jute twine, and I'm going to take a piece, a nice long piece, and I'm going to add a little dab of glue and start wrapping this whole shower ring with this jute twine. So if you want to do this, just take your jute twine, take your shower rings, go sit on the couch, watch a movie, and just relax. Actually, it doesn't take that long, really. It didn't take that long. Or you could just give them to the kids to do. And look, here they are, all complete. And now I'm going to take my lighter. Now this, don't give it to the kids. This is for you to do. Take the lighter and just burn off all the fuzzies. Jute twine has a lot of fuzzies, and if you're able to burn them off, it'll look a little bit better quality, more high end. So just be careful and burn all the little fuzzies off like this. And now I'm going to go back in with the baker's twine, and I'm going to pull off a nice long piece. And I'm going to start wrapping this around the ring, one of these rings, but not a full coverage, just maybe like every 1/4 inch or so, or maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. I really didn't measure, but basically kind of like a candy cane stripe where it's not together, it's more like spaced out. So as you can see here, there's quite a bit of a space between each piece of this baker's twine. So I'm just going to continue this and go all the way around. I'm just going to do one because I want to see how one looks with and how one looks without. This is just like an idea in my head, and I wanted to see how it looks when I actually do it. And once I go completely around, then I'll just secure it with a nice dab of glue, and then go ahead and take the excess and tie a knot, actually a double knot, a nice strong secure double knot. And I'll cut off the excess twine here. And so for this one, I'm going to take this wooden bead from Amazon. It's like a candy cane stripe bead. I'm going to add a little dab of glue on the end of the 2 pieces of baker's twine and kind of form it to make a faux needle shape. And I'm going to poke this through, and I'll use my needle to actually help push it through. And once I get it through, then all I have to do is create a little tie at the very top, a little knot to help finish up the loop. And now I'll finish embellishing the center in a little bit, but first I'm taking another piece of this baker's twine, snipping it off and putting it around the second hoop to create the hanger. So I'll just put it through and tie it a couple times to get it nice and secure, and then finish up the little hanger by creating another knot at the top. So once I get this done, then I'm ready to embellish the inside of these little hoops. So I'm just going to take these little gingerbread men that I had on hand from another project, and look, they fit in there perfectly with just a little bit of a nudge. So I'm just going to hot glue them in place, and I'll add a little hot glue here and on the head and on the feet, and then I'll just place it inside, push it in, and it fits perfectly. Look at that. And I'll do the same with the second one. Just add a little hot glue on the feet and on the top of the head, and I'll just kind of squeeze it in there. Look at that, so cute. And I just finish her up with a little bow just because, and that is it. Super cute. A closer look and the final reveal. For DIY number 3 and my last DIY of this video, I'm taking 2 more of these peppermint looking wood rounds from Amazon and some more of the baker's twine. I'm loving this baker's twine, and I'm just creating a couple little loops to create some hangers, tying a knot, and then pushing them through the holes of these wood rounds and tying them onto these wood rounds. And they almost look like little earrings. So here I'm taking these little plates. They're from the Dollar Tree, and I just painted them in the truffle chalk paint by Waverly, and I did a dry brushing with some white paint from Waverly. And here I'm just going to add these little plates, these little plastic plates, onto the top of these peppermint looking wood pieces to kind of simulate peppermint chargers and a plate. And then here's the cookie. Gotta have some gingerbread cookies at Christmas time. And I'm just going to add a cute little bow on each of them just to give them a little something something. And that is it for this one. Super cute and super easy. Definitely utilize those toys. Yes, these are just toy plates. And just look what cute ornaments they made. Oh my goodness. And let me know which ornament is your favorite from this video. DIY number 1, I'm taking the little cups to a plastic toy set that I used on day 4 of the 12 Days of Christmas Ornaments challenge. And on day 4, I used the plates. So these are the little cups. And I'm going to fill them up with these little pom-poms. I'm just going to hot glue them inside. I start off with 2 in each cup just as filler, but I ended up doing 3. But you can also use floral foam, plastic, paper, what have you. Just fill them up with something. And I'm taking the little spoons that go along with this little set as well, hot gluing them inside, and also these little pieces of straws that I also had left over from another project. And I just hot glue them inside as well to create a little hot cocoa cup. Look at this. Well, I put a straw. I normally don't see those in hot cocoa, but hey, I had them, so I did them. I used them. And here's where I'm using my third little pom-pom. And again, like I mentioned, you can use anything to fill this up. Just fill it up with whatever you happen to have on hand. I had plenty of little pom-poms, so that's what I used. So now I'm going to go in with this puffy paint, and I'm just going to use it to fill up these cups. And again, you don't have to use puffy paint. You can use spackle. You can use anything that's thick. You can even use hot glue. Sure, you can use hot glue. I just happen to have plenty of this puffy paint, so it's what I'm using. So I'm just going to add this until it's all full, and I do this to both until they look like this. Already looking delicious, but wait, there's more. I'm going to use these brown paints. One is a gloss, one is a matte, and you guys tell me which one looks better. So this one is the gloss real brown, and here it's looking like it's going to be fudge, but no, this is actually going to be the hot cocoa. And on the second one, I'm using the apple barrel melted chocolate, and again looking like fudge, but no, I'm going to use my small little brush and fill it all in so it'll look like cocoa. And if it drips along the side, perfect, even better. So after I get it all nice and delicious looking, look how different they look. And this is dry now. Both are dry. So this one's the melted chocolate, it's a matte, and then this is the real brown. And look at this, it looks so shiny. So now I'm going to go back in with the puffy paint, and now I'm going to give the hot cocoa its whipped cream or whipped topping. And I just do a little bit on the top like this, and I do to both. And then I decided to give it a little glittery topping, so I'm going to use my fine silver glitter just to make it look a little bit extra. And I'm going to add the hanger by using a little bit of the red and white baker's twine, and then I'll top it with a little bead, a little red bead, and this will be my cherry on the top. And then I felt like I still needed a little something, so I went ahead and made a couple little bows with some really thin ribbon and just placed it on the handles of the cups to look like this. And that is it for this one. Look how adorable. And this is how they look, looking delicious. For DIY number 2, I'm taking 2 of these wood-shaped pieces from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use this canvas bag and some of this pretty ribbon that I happen to have on hand, and I'm going to attempt to do the plastic fusing like I did on DIY number 4. On DIY number 4, I used wrapping paper to fuse to wood, and this time I'm going to use fabric. So I'm going to use this canvas bag, and I cut it in pieces. And here we go, some plastic wrap, and then the fabric, and then the parchment paper, and I'm using my mini easy press, and look, it works. Now what I did notice is that with the fabric you need to wait for it to cool down, whereas using the paper it doesn't matter. So yeah, we'll let that cool down for a minute, and now we'll do the second shape. So here's my plastic wrap, and here's another piece of that canvas bag, and here's my parchment paper, and here's my mini easy press, and I'm just going to fuse it on there, and it works beautifully. But on this one I decided to use some of that ribbon that I showed you earlier, so I'm going to cut off some of this plastic that's on the bottom that's left over, and I'm going to cut a little piece in the shape of the little cutouts that I cut out of this really cute ribbon. So here I'm just cutting it into that shape, and I'll just place it down on top of this fused canvas that's already on there. And here we'll try this, see if it works. Use my mini easy press to press it down for a little bit till it gets nice and hot, and then we'll remove it, and guess what, it totally worked. Yes, absolutely, look at that. Oh my goodness. So now I added a couple more pieces. So here's another small piece of plastic, and here's a little gingerbread man, and I do another one next to it like this, and I'll add the second gingerbread man, and I'll place my parchment paper on top and my mini easy press it down, hold it down for a little bit till everything gets nice and hot. And oh my goodness, this came out so adorable. Oh my goodness, the possibilities. This is so adorable. Look at this. Oh my goodness, look how cute. And now I'm just going to take my detail scissors, and I'm just going to snip off the excess fabric and plastic that's hanging on the side, and I go as close as I can to the wood shape. And so I'll just go along and do both like this. And now I'm going to take my parchment paper, put it back on top, and help diffuse all the little ends, because now that I cut it, all the little fibers are going to kind of start to unravel on the sides, because it is a fabric and it is a canvas bag. So here I got them to be a little bit more fused. Now here's where I decided to use some of my Apple Barrel Nutmeg Brown paint, a little dab of it, to help paint the little gingerbread men on the inside. But I wanted to water it down a little bit because I wanted to be able to show the details through the paint. I didn't want the paint to be so thick. So here I'm painting my little gingerbread men till they look like this, but look at this, they're starting to bleed through. So my rookie mistake was that I didn't Mod Podge first, but I went ahead and painted the outsides with that same apple barrel nutmeg paint, and now they're beginning to look like cookies. And then the bell is perfect, and the ornament shape one is going to need a lot of work. So now I'm going to go in with my dishwasher Mod Podge. I should have done that first. So if you guys do this, do the Mod Podge first, then paint. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my hanger with my baker's twine, and I'll just secure it on the back with some hot glue until they look like this. Now with the Mod Podge nice and dry, I'm going to go through with my detail scissors and snip off any excess little fibers that might be sticking out, and the Mod Podge makes them a little bit easier to snip off. And I do this to both until they look like this. Now I'm ready to go in with some puffy paint to outline my wood cutouts to make them look like real gingerbread cookies. So I'm just going to take my time and go around and do both until they look like this. Look how adorable. And I even went around the gingerbread men to help with the bleeding of the paint. It helped a little bit, but I could still see some bleeding and it bothered me. So I went in with my red puffy paint and I filled in the rest of this cutout here. So here I just go along the edges and kind of trace, and then I get it all painted like this. Not my best work, but I had to cover up that bleeding through. It just bothered me. And here I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that fine silver glitter just to make it look a little festive. So one will be festive and one will be more neutral. And I'm just going to top them both off with a little bow just to make them look super cute. So this big bow on the red ornament and the smaller bow on the bell ornament. And I almost forgot to add a little bow to my little gingerbread girl cookie. So here's a little baker's twine bow for her head. So I'm just going to add a little dab of glue and put it on top, and look how adorable. Super cute. You guys gotta let me know what you guys think. And here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3 and my last DIY of this video, I'm going to create some more of these little cookies out of these cutouts. So I'm just taking these cutouts, this little tree and another one of these ornament shaped ones, and I'll go in with my nutmeg brown apple barrel paint, full coverage back and front, and I'm going to go in with my puffy paint and just outline both cookies very simply, just going around. And I do a little bit of a polka dot on the inside, and it looks like a real cookie. Oh my goodness, it totally looks like a real cookie. And once it's dry, then all I do now is just add a bow, and I do add a couple of little frosted berries, one on each with the bow. And that is it for this one, a super quick cookie looking ornament. Oh, and I do add the hanger on the back, of course. I add a baker's twine hanger, and this is all. You guys have to let me know what you guys think. Super cute. And here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal, which we are now at the final reveal. For DIY number 1, I'm going to take one of these mini wood rounds from the Dollar Tree and some apple barrel paint in the color Nutmeg Brown, paint it all up. And then I'm going to take some of this ribbon that I got from Amazon, and I'll link it in my description box if you're interested. And I'm going to add a dab of glue and adhere this ribbon to the circumference of the outside of this mini wood round. It's actually an ornament. It's got a hole, and I did fill it with some hot glue. And now I'm going to take one of these DIY ornaments. It kind of looks like a cloche or a jar with a screwed bottom lid. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid, and I'm going to first do the same thing and add some of this really pretty ribbon. I like the way it looks, so I'm going to go around this whole circumference of this lid to give it that peppermint look and adhere it with some hot glue. And now I'm going to take one of these snowballs from Crafter's Square. It's kind of like polyfill in a ball form, kind of like a bunny cottontail. Yeah, like an Easter bunny cottontail. So I'm going to take some glue and just adhere it to the inside of my lid. And then I'm going to take these little mini trees, and these in silver. And I'm just going to take one, and I probably should have taken the shortest one, but I just grabbed any which one that was in there. And this one was a little bit tall. It didn't seem like it would be tall, but the snowball made it a little bit higher. So now I'm going to take a couple of these little gingerbread men, these little wood gingerbread men. I still had quite a few left over. So I'm going to create a little bow for the little girl. She needs a little baker's twine bow on her head. And now I'm just going to adhere these two cute little gingerbread kids on the snowball, like they're playing in the snow. So I'll add a little dab of glue on the feet and place the little boy on one side, and then I turn around the lid and put the little girl on the other side like this, looking cute. So here is where I noticed that my tree's a little bit too big, so gingerbread kids fit in there just fine. But then as soon as I twist it to tighten the lid, all of a sudden the top of the ornament pops up. But that's okay. I just push it in there with my finger, and now it's kind of like a curved tree, kind of like a branch tree. Looking whimsical. We'll call it whimsical. And now I'm just going to take some baker's twine and create the little hanger part to place on the top of my ornament. And now I'm just going to take some hot glue and just adhere them together like this. Just place it right on top. And now it's time to do a little bit of embellishing. So look at this, it's looking cute, but it needs some more embellishing. So now I'm going to take some more of this ribbon, and I'm just going to add it to the very top of the ornament where the hanger is. I felt like it's looking a little bit bare. And now I'm just going to add a couple little bows, and I don't show it, but I add a couple candy canes, and that is it. Look how cute. And a closer look at the final reveal. I'm going to take one of these galvanized metal stands. This one's in the house shape, and I'm going to go in with the apple barrel paint in the color Nutmeg Brown, give it a full paint. And now I'm going to give it a protective layer of some Mod Podge in the mat so the paint won't scratch off the metal. And now I'm going to go in with some of these magnets from the Dollar Tree and some more of these little gingerbread men, these little wooden gingerbread men. And I'm going to utilize the magnets and the metal stand to create a magnetized decor piece for my tree. So when the grandkids come over, they can play around with them, move them around, whatever they like. So I'm just going to adhere these with some hot glue in this manner. And look how cute, super cute. And now I'm going to go in with my crocodile and create a hole on the very top of this little house. That way I can hang it on the tree. And I just love using this crocodile because it creates holes on metal and wood so easily and so effortlessly. And now I'm going to go in with some of this 3D paint and create the icing look on the perimeter of this little house. So I go all the way around the house and the bottom as well. And once the paint is dry, I just add the hanger back on and the little gingerbread kids back on there. And I do add a plastic peppermint and a couple of candy canes as well. And look how cute! And a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3 and my last DIY of this video, I'm taking one of these wooden camera shaped picture frames from the Dollar Tree and going in with apple barrel paint in the color Nutmeg Brown, giving it a full coat. And now I'm going to take one of these peppermint wood rounds from Amazon, and I'm going to adhere this to be like the background of my camera lens. So I'm trying to figure out the right spot, and then all I'm going to do is just add the glue and adhere it onto the camera lens for the camera lens. But look how cute. It's looking so cute. So now I'm going to take another one of the little gingerbread men and I'm going to add it to the center of the camera lens because we're taking a picture of a gingerbread man, right? Of course we are. So now I'm going to take some of the baker's twine and create the little hanger, adhere it to the back, and now I can start embellishing. And now I'm just going to take my puffy paint, go around the perimeter of the lens, and I'll go around the perimeter of the camera itself, and I do a couple other little embellishments. I add a bow, I add some plastic peppermints, and call it a day. It'll be so cute. And please let me know which one was your favorite. Which one did you like best? Hoops. These are very vintage, and I actually got these at a thrift store. Now I got this white one that's there, the fourth one, but I don't end up not using it. It didn't have the piece in the center. And I'm going to go in with this red and white gingham fabric that I happen to have, and I'm just going to remove the inside parts of these embroidery hoops, and I'm going to trace the circles and cut out these pieces of fabric. And I only cut out 2, but I do 3. I do the brown, that to me looks very gingerbread like, and then I do the 2 red. And like I said, I didn't do the white one just because it didn't have the inside piece, and I'm not going to be able to adhere it properly. So here are my 2 circles. Well, I ended up doing 3. So here's 2 of them, and then I just cut them out. And I cut them out a little larger than my circles. That way I had plenty of fabric that it will be able to hold on. So here I'm going to make sure that it's going to fit. And I'm going to go in with this really cute pom-pom trim that I found at the Dollar Tree. Look how adorable. So I'm just going to snip off a couple pieces, and I'm just going to use some hot glue to adhere it. And now I'm ready to place these pieces of fabric inside of my embroidery hoops. So I'm just going to take these fabric rounds and I'm going to turn them over and place them inside the embroidery hoops and place the inside portion of the embroidery hoops, and it just like snaps in there like this. Look, it's so adorable. And I did that to all 3 of them like this. And now here are all my little gingerbread men, all nice and dry, ready to be used for some embellishments. So I'll place them aside. I ended up not using the whole set. I think I ended up using maybe half. So here are my embroidery hoops ready to be embellished, and I just take one and place one on the little small embroidery hoop like this, and I'll take one and place it on the other red one, just so it wouldn't be too crowded. And then just because I placed two on the well, it's not larger, but the brown one on the brown embroidery hoop, and then I added two there. These are just going to be some cute little ornaments for the tree, or you could put them in the kitchen as well. But look how cute! What do you guys think? For number one, I'm going to take one of these wood birdhouses from the Dollar Tree and some of the apple barrel paint and the nutmeg brown, give it a full paint job like this. And now I'm going to go in with some of my puffy paint, and I'm just going to outline the whole little house, and I'm going to speed it up because this took a little while. And just like that, it's done. So now I'm taking some of this faux snow, that's the sparkly one from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to give it a nice good covering of it. And I'm using this paper to help me move the little house, and I also use a little perch piece of wood to help move it around as well, a little perch post. So here it is, all nice and dry, and now I decided I don't need the perch post, so I'm going to remove it with my pliers. And now I'm going to start to embellish. So I'm going to begin with these straws, and all I'm going to do is cut them to fit on the sides of the house, and I do all four sides. And I've done this before with other projects with my plastic Dollar Tree doll houses. I did this and it came out really cute. And now I'm going to add a few of these really cute plastic peppermints that I get from Amazon, and I'll link them in my description box. And so I'll add one on each side to become like the little windows of the house, and then I'm going to add 3 to the very top of the roof line just to give it that cute candy look. I'll do one large one on the back like a big window. And now I just need to add a couple of these candy cane stripe straws to the very back of the house, and then I'll add a couple of cute little gingerbread men, and I'll add the hanger, and I'll add a big bow in the front of the house, and then I'll call this DIY complete. And just look what an adorable ornament. Here's how it looks, and a closer look at for DIY number 2. I'm taking one of these wooden mini trucks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with some apple barrel paint in the color nutmeg brown, give it a full paint job. And now I'm going to remove the little man that's in there. I decided I didn't want him, so I'm going to touch it up with some more paint. And now I'm going to go in with some of my puffy paint and give it a full icing look. And I'm speeding it up because again, this took quite a while. I had to be careful not to get my hands on it. So here it is, nice and dry. And here I had created a little wagon part with some craft sticks, and I thought I was filming it, but I guess I didn't. So I'm just going to adhere them to my little truck, and I also had frosted them with the puffy paint and added some of the snow as well, the faux snow. But here I'm just going to hot glue these onto the back of the truck. Got to give it the wagon portion, of course. And look at this, so cute. So now I'm going to take some of these bigger peppermints that I have that I got from Amazon, and I'm just going to use these for the wheels. So I'm just going to simply hot glue them on top of the existing wheels, and look at that, it rolls. So now here I picked up this big bag of these mini gingerbread men from Hobby Lobby. And these cute little gingerbread men are going to be riding in the back of the truck in the wagon portion. So they'll need to be standing up, and I want them to be a little bit more substantial than just that little skewer. So I'm going to be cutting the straw that I have left, and I'm just going to cut it in little pieces and get the bamboo skewer to fit inside as well. And I'll cut it to size and then hot glue it all up. That way it's nice and secure. And once it's nice and secure, then I'll put these little gingerbread men inside. But first I'm taking this cute little mini bottle brush tree, cutting off a portion, and I'm going to hot glue it in the center of the wagon portion of this truck because I want the children to be in front and in the back. So here they are, and I just have to hot glue everything in place. And I do add a big bow to the front and to the back of the truck just because. And look, this is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to use 2 of these wooden Christmas tree ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with the apple barrel paint in the color Nutmeg Brown. And while that dries, I'm taking a few of these straws and I'm going to cut them to form a graduated pattern of a Christmas tree. And there's 3 different patterns of straws, so I also alternate these patterns just to give the trees a little bit more interest. And I do a set of 2 like this. Now they're not looking like trees until I kind of spread them down, and now they look like trees. And now the next step is to take all these straws and adhere them to the Christmas tree ornament in this pattern until they look like this. And now I'm going to take 2 small wooden pieces, little round pieces that came off of these little trees, and I'm going to also take 2 red beads, and I'm just simply going to adhere these beads onto the little wood round pieces. And since the little round wood pieces have a little wire sticking out of them, then it's perfect. It adheres just perfectly. Now I have my Christmas tree stands ready, so I'm ready to adhere the tree to the stand. But now I decided to remove the little trunk that's on the tree. That way it'll fit a little bit better, a little bit more flush. So I'm just adding the hot glue and adhering the little stand onto my little trees. And I'll just wait for it to set. So you can even put these on a tabletop. Really cute. And my little Christmas trees need a star, so here I took this star from Dollar Tree. It was a natural color and I painted it red with apple barrel paint, and I'm just adhering them to the top of the tree like this. And now I'm going to take some of the red and white baker's twine and create my hanger, and I'm going to place the little knot of the hanger where the existing hole is on the Christmas tree, on the wooden Christmas tree portion. That way it kind of like just nestles inside. And I'll use my silicone spatula to press it in there because this glue is hot. Hold it in place for a bit, and now just remove it, and look at that. Perfect. So now I'm ready to add a little more embellishments. So I'm just going to do a little bit of my puffy paint on the star just to give it a little frosted look, like a cookie look. And then all I have to do after that is just add a tiny little bow right below the star. And then I'll call this DIY complete. Look how cute. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I picked up a pack of these DIY ornament kits, and these are the little felt gingerbread men, and they each come packed separately with its own little felt accessory pieces. But I'm only going to use what I need because I'll be doubling these little gingerbread felt pieces up to create stuffed gingerbread people, little boy and a little girl. So I'm just going to add the eyes, the mouth, this and that until they look like this. Look how adorable. So now I'm just taking the top ones, flipping them over because there's print on the back and I'd rather have the print on the inside. And now I'm just going to go in with some hot glue and glue these all around together except for the very top of the head. I'll leave the top of the head open, that way we can add our filler. So I'll just glue these like this, go around. I use my Surebonder detail tip hot glue gun because it's a little bit easier to hot glue these little pieces like this. But I just go up until when I get around the eyes or where the ears would be, I would stop at that point. So I just continue to go up like this, allow the glue to dry or get cool or set. And now here where the ears go, now they look like this and they have holes up top. And now I'm going to fill them up with some of these foam beads just because I had them already, so why not use them? So now I'm taking a piece of this paper that I had. It's kind of like a poster board kind of thickness, and I'm creating a quick little funnel, hot gluing it in place. And here I'm putting it in the head and I'm going to fill it up with these beads. And this technique works pretty well, but you have to use a bamboo skewer to push them in there. So here's my little funnel all full, and I'll just press them down until I get all the nooks and crannies inside as far down as I can, and also work on the arms as well. So here I'm just going to take some hot glue and close up the head. Just be careful because the beads, they just want to pop out. But look, it came out so cute. So now it's time to do a little bit of embellishing, and I'll begin with the little girl, and of course I'm going to create her a cute little bow out of this red and white gingham pattern ribbon, and of course dovetail the ends and just place it on her head Really cute. Look at this. Oh my goodness, she's so cute. And I'm going to secure the right tail of this bow. That way it won't be flapping in her face. But look how cute. And now for the boy, I'm going to take this extra piece of wide ribbon that I had, just a remnant piece, and I decided to create like a little cone hat. Look how cute. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of hot glue and just adhere it closed. And I'll just trim off the bottom. That way it's nice and shaped. And now I just adhere it to my little gingerbread boy on his head. And I'm taking a little pom-pom that I happen to have, and it happens to be red and white. And also these little pieces off the kit, these little felt pieces, and I'm going to use them to go on the edge of his little hat to give it a cute little, kind of like a little Santa look, but peppermint stripe, but with a pom-pom on the very top. That makes sense. But look how cute. And all I have to do now is add the hanger, and that is it for this one. Super cute. And here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5 and my last DIY of this video, I'm just simply taking 2 of my little wooden gingerbread men, 2 of these cute little peppermints, and I'm just placing the peppermints on top of the little gingerbread men like they're carrying a nice big peppermint. Look how adorable. So simple, so cute. And then I have these little hangers that I had made for another project, but I didn't use them, and they're just little beads that are strung with some of the baker's twine. So I'm just simply going to adhere the hanger to the little man on the back like this, and I use my silicone spatula to help adhere it. And now I'll put a little bit of glue inside the bead, the top bead, that way it won't slip out. So here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. Now I just want to show you a few little modifications that I made to one of my ornaments from day 8 of this challenge. This is the before, and this is the after. And now we're at the final reveal. Tell me what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye, and Merry Christmas.